People are here?
Hi, folks, and welcome to Hanging Out with Mad Mimi. We're here every Wednesday at 4 p.m. talking about stuff that you're interested in, hopefully, if you're interested in it. And if you're not, then you should tell us what you want to hear about. We're really excited today because we're going to be talking about a brand new integration we have with the website builder WIX. And so if you use it or you're interested in using it, this is totally the hangout for you to watch. So stay tuned. I'm Mira, and with me, as always, is Becca.
Hello.
And we're joined by our very own developer extraordinaire, Sruli Rapps.
Yeah.
All the way from Israel, which is always exciting. And as we get going, we're going to be discussing, we're going to demo, and if you have any questions or you want us to talk about something specific or if you didn't understand something, just hit the Q&A button at the top of the screen. It should be right there at the top, but if you don't see it, there's probably a little grid pattern, and just click on that, and then you'll see the Q&A button in there. So we really want to hear from you, and we want to hear what you want to hear about, so pop your questions in, and we'll get to them. And I'm going to pass it over to Sruli right now. Thank you for joining us, of course.
Of course.
And I'm wondering if you can just start off by telling us sort of what you do for Mimi and what a typical day in the life of Sruli looks like.
Oh my. Okay. Excited. Cool. So I'm Sruli Rapps, developer. Yeah, I've been working with Mad Mimi now for like between like 2.5 and 3 years, something like that. Yeah, I work on some of the integrations and features and other stuff that kind of comes up in Mad Mimi, whether it's dealing with audience lists and promotions and things like that. Wow, so a typical day in my life. That can like tend to begin kind of early in the morning. It's like, yeah, because I'm like a programmer, I have to have like weird hours and stuff. So I guess I can wake up anywhere between like 3 a.m. and like 6 a.m. something like that. I guess maybe the average is like I don't know, but yeah, I tend to like to work then, it's like early, quiet, nobody's really awake in the world. But anyways, and then yeah, I'm like home most of the time, or like in a coffee shop. This room where I'm in now is like where I spend a lot of time. And yes, I'm home. Whatever, working most of the day, programming. Pretty cool. It's nice. Yeah.
Besides this WIX integration that we're going to talk about, what are some of the other things that you've done? Just a short little laundry list so we can get an idea of all the things you've touched in Mad Mimi.
Yeah, definitely. I spent a while working on a Salesforce integration, which is actually not live yet, but it is super close to being live, finally. So that I worked on for a chunk of time. I've done a lot of work on web forms, all those like fancy fields with the drop downs and the radio buttons and date fields, all that stuff. I did that. Yeah, like just a lot of like sort of web form stuff. I did not write the WordPress plugin, but I have sort of done some things after the fact related to that. What else have I done?
You're sort of a web form master, since the integration and the WordPress integration both also deal with web forms, and you were responsible for all those cool fields.
Right, it's funny. Yeah, I think I somehow have become like the default. If there's like a web form thing, it tends to come my way, which I don't mind because I'm pretty familiar with it and it's nice. It's good. But yeah, this is like the typical like. Importing audience. I was dealing with that just the other day, and sort of API things, just developer kind of stuff. Yeah, things that are coming up in that way. Yeah, I don't know.
It sounds like you're the web form master. Can you tell us a little bit about the WIX integration and how that's all involved and what exactly it does, I guess, altogether?
For sure. So, actually, it was probably close to a year ago, maybe like 10 months ago, whatever it was. It was probably almost, let's just say a year ago.
Yeah. We'll round up.
Yeah, exactly. So Gary, who's actually the founder, CEO of Mad Mimi. So he told me, so he kind of came to me and he said that Wix is this, they have tons of users, millions of users, and they have this app market, and they have what's called this JavaScript SDK, which is basically, in normal human speak, it's like basically a way for programmers, developers, people who don't actually work for Wix can actually create programs and applications for Wix and to be used in their app market and for their website. And because it's a very high traffic website, we thought it would be a nice opportunity for people to use use Mad Mimi with their Wix integration, with their Wix sites that they're building, and that would be sort of a nice project. So that's how it got started. And just I don't know if we clarified this. So I guess maybe it's obvious, maybe it's not. But Wix, if somebody wants to build a website, they don't have a website. They just want sort of a very straightforward, non-technical, no programming at all, just kind of drag and drop stuff onto a page. There are lots of preset templates and things like that. You can get your website up and running fairly simply. So that's what Wix is. So we figured that we would create this integration that if somebody's creating their website, very often people want to have sign up for an email list or to subscribe to their email list. So that would be a great opportunity to kind of integrate with Mad Mimi in that way. In sort of a web form integration. So
now,
that's sort
was there a way for people who used Wix to put a Mad Mimi web form on their site before this integration?
It's a good question. Honestly, I'm not positive. In theory, if there's like a way to add custom HTML, then yes. Yes, if you can add.
I actually tested it myself when I was building a site like 4 years ago, and there was a little box you could put HTML in, but it was kind of hard to format it the right way if you weren't an HTML genius. So you could use the plain embed form from your Mimi form, but it never quite looked that good. And it was even me, who's sort of okay at tweaking these things, I couldn't quite figure it out. So it sounds like the integration is going to make it tons easier.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, and it kind of like fits because of their whole sort of platform that they provide for developers. It really makes it feel like it belongs in sort of the Wix context and ecosystem, whatever.
It really does, and it fits really, really seamlessly into your Wix interface, and everything that you're familiar with working with Wix is there in this integration. It's really excellent. Sruli, do you think you can show us a little how it works?
Sure, 100%. Okay, so let me share my screen.
And
entire screen. Boom. All right, let's see. You with me?
Yep.
Do you see?
Here we go.
Loft City.
Loft City, right. This is a complete fake one sort of demo site that I just kind of put together for this demo. Okay, so here is the Wix app market. There's that little icon there on the left, and here's like a whole bunch of apps that outside developers such as Mad Mimi has created. And so if you check out the new apps, it looks like there's been another few since then. Here's the Mad Mimi one, and you can just kind of add it to your site.
You could also just search Mad Mimi in there too.
Oh,
if you click on that app marketplace button and just search Mad Mimi, it should pop right up.
Exactly, just like that. Exactly, thanks, Mira. Cool, so we're just going to add this app to the site. Sweet. Oh, what's this? Oh, I see. Okay. It's funny. I was playing with it before, so I kept my what I had before. Okay. So here we are.
You can move that around anywhere on your page that you want to put it, right?
Mm-hmm. Anywhere you want. You can adjust the size, although the size that you're not going to want to do so much. Although the width you can adjust, and it'll adjust kind of with it, which is good. And then, so at the moment, this is not actually connected to a Mad Mimi account yet, so submitting it won't actually submit to anywhere. However, so up here is where Mad Mimi comes in. Well, and kind of the rest of it as well. But okay, so over here you can create an account if you don't yet have one, though I'm going to guess that on this Hangout, at least the majority of the people already are Mad Mimi users, so we can just connect our Mad Mimi account. it is going to take us to Mad Mimi. This is Mad Mimi. It has nothing to do with Wix for the moment, right? The reason I'm saying that is because, meaning when you submit, you're basically logging into Mad Mimi. Wix is not seeing your password. It's all going directly to Mad Mimi.
And this is one of the things that makes this integration sort of extra special, is that within Wix, while you're working in Wix, you have these opportunities to pop over into Mad Mimi and do things that you need to do. And so that was a quick example. Just the connecting of the accounts is really easy, and it actually happens on the Mimi side. But there's another place where that works really nicely that we'll get to in a second as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually funny. I was just playing it around with it myself before, and so there's like these funny fields that I created for testing, but we'll get there in a minute. Yeah. Yeah, oh my goodness, yeah, I was thinking like, okay, what fancy field should I create? You know, what goes on?
I picked cucumber.
Cucumber? It's funny. All right, so let's go down the options over here. So number one is we can get rid of the header if whatever, maybe we just want, let's say, name and email. It's actually, I'll get right back to what I'm doing right now in a second. I just kind of want to have like a clean slate kind of thing. And also one of the very interesting things is that the form that you see in Wix is an actual Mad Mimi web form, right? So what happens is when you connect to your account, you're creating a form in Mad Mimi with the name Wix web form. So when you go and look at all your web forms in Mad Mimi, there is going to be this form, and sort of as you edit in Wix, you're actually editing your Mad Mimi web form as well, which is how I was able to sort of add and remove fields from Mad Mimi to affect this. Which the sort of nice thing about that is that you can take advantage of all the features that Mad Mimi, all the web form features in Mad Mimi, such as even like redirect URLs and things like that, custom message for after a user subscribes, all those kind of things. Okay, so here we can choose if we want our header or not. So let's just say, okay, so here I had sort of a longer test thing that I did, but the default is something like whatever, subscribe for our newsletter, you know, something like that. I hope I spelled that right. Boom. Okay, there it is. Okay, you can include it, not include it. You could change alignment, which is really more significant. Let's say if you're going to use a sort of a right-to-left language, such as like Hebrew, I think is currently the only right-to-left language that we support for web forms specifically, if I'm not mistaken. You could change the sort of font of the header, things like that. Anyways, cool. There it is. You can change the color, things like that. Now, here's where it gets a little bit more exciting, I think, which is that, okay, so here you have, assuming that you have more than one web form in Mad Mimi, so then it'll give you a list of all your forms, which I guess my what's it called? Names are very descriptive. Web form. But anyways, there's our Wix web form, which we're going to use right now. You can just like a quick one from here. You can, if you want to have name in there, great. You can add it or not. Great, let's just keep it in there for now. And then
that's
here,
a nice way to do it that's nice and quick. You know, like I think what you're going to go into next is how you can edit the form fully in Mad Mimi, but you don't necessarily have to do that. If all you want is name and email, boom, you have it right there.
Not even maybe like cool.
Yeah, cool. And then, right, so now here's this little link right over here, which takes you to the actual form in Mad Mimi. And as you see over here, add subscribers to these lists. By default, when you link your account, we create a list called Wix subscribers, and all subscribers who subscribe with this form are going to be added to that list. So you have a list sort of those subscribers. You can always remove it if you want. You can add more lists. Cool.
And just to jump in also, sorry, Sruli, to keep derailing you here, but this is an excellent way to keep your list segmented too. I mean, you could create a different list, a different web form, a different list for each page of your site if you wanted. If you wanted to keep track of where you're capturing these people from, then just keeping a different list per web form is a really, really great idea for keeping those, all of those audience members segmented.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Okay, so now we can add more fields if you want. So we already have name. Let's add country, and here comes the pressure. What should I do? Got that done. Let's do it.
Sruli's very own fancy fields you may recognize from other web forms.
Okay, so this time we're having a checkbox. Uh-oh. What should we even put it? What? Oh my goodness.
I like favorite vegetable.
Yeah.
You can have more than one. That's appropriate for a checkbox.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, and you can have more than one. That's perfect. Okay, so favorite. Oh my goodness, how's my typing? I'm on the spot. Great. That looks fine. All right. Should we keep the old options, or should we have fresh ones? Well, for the sake of
I like broccoli.
broccoli. That's exciting. Cool. Did I even spell it right? Why not? Let's get that cucumber in there again. Cool. All right. Sweet. All right. And there they are. Should we make it required? Why not? You have to like vegetable. Okay. Sweet. So an interesting note over here, actually. So because actually I've connected my form in the past, so normally you'd get like a little alert that just like a thing that says what I'm about to say now, which is that these theme tweaks to sort of background color, which is not so relevant in Wix because you have sort of the website as the background in this context. And any of these things over here are actually not carried over to Wix because you can whatever you can adjust the colors in Wix as we'll see when we get back to there in a minute. And then here are some just more advanced things that your regular Mad Mimi things over here, such as your landing pages and redirects and things like that. You could change the text of the button. All of this stuff will be carried over to Wix to change if it's single opt-in or not. You could change the language as well, which you can do either here or in Wix, etc. Cool. So I think that this is
whether I change that, like let's say the language, for example, since I can change that here and I can change it over back, on that screen behind you in Wix. Does it matter where I make those changes?
It does not. No, either one's fine. Yeah, either one's cool. Sweet. So now we'll just reload the thing over here, and sweet. There they are. Awesome.
Quickly it happens too. It's just like on the nose. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Sweet. And then I guess why not? Let's like submit it. Let's see what happens. We'll get back to the other settings in a sec, but just to show. So we also have, just like in Mad Mimi, it sort of validates the form before it's submitted to make sure that anything that's required is in fact required. So name is not required, neither is country, but I will just put in my email address right over here, and we'll see I still cannot submit it because I did not select a vegetable. Dun, dun, dun. I'll do all three. Why not? Cool. Submit it. Send it. Thank you. All done. And now when I go back to Mad Mimi and I look at my audience, I will be able. I will be there. I will be on that Wix list. Sweet. Okay, now.
You can change the behavior of what happens after you click subscribe through those landing pages that we just looked at. So that is something that you have control over as well. Definitely.
Yeah. Cool. You could choose the language. Croatian. That's exciting. Cool. So there you go. Now it's in Croatian, of course, with the exception being the custom one that we made because that's just whatever we told it to be. Cool. English. Great. You can change some of the styles over there for the labels on the fields. Color settings. Change the background color if you want. Yeah, I wonder what's a good color for this. Whatever. That one is perfect. That looks pretty good. All right, great. It's a keeper. Button color, yeah, I guess blue. Let's change it to yellow. Perfect.
Wow, that is sexy, Sruli.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going for. All right, sweet. Okay, yeah, so all of these kind of colors, you can also change the opacity, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, cool.
But, yeah, anyways, these are your basic settings over here. Yeah, so there you go. And that's what
This is really exciting too because these are things that you will want to change, and before you had to do it in HTML. These are things that you had to come up with whatever the hex code was for these colors and figure out what the font tag was for the labels in order to make any of these changes. And here you have a visual interface and it's all right there and it's easy. You can change those colors, you can tweak it, and it shows up right here. So this is a really, really robust integration that we have here for Wix. So thumbs up, Sruli.
And I love the fact that you can edit it as you go. I mean, before you would need to edit the form in Mimi, then copy your code and paste it in, and then make sure that what you pasted in looked good, and then go back to Mimi and switch it. And this way, it just happens right away as you're working, which I feel like saves everybody a lot of time and a lot of headache, you know. So it's really cool. This is a very, very good integration.
Absolutely. And people who are watching, let us know if you have any questions, please. We wanna make sure that we cover everything that you might be wondering as well. So is there any more that you think is worth demoing here on the integration on screen?
It really covers sort of maybe even all of it, but definitely the big things, yeah. So I guess I could change it back to regular mode, right? Let's see.
That's me.
How do I do this thing? Oh, I'm back. There I am. Okay, sweet.
You're back. So it's really, I mean, this is really great. It's really exciting. The fact that it works so seamlessly with Mad Mimi, you know, you can open that Mad Mimi window and you can edit your web form right there while you're still in Wix working with it. And it's not something that's so common for our other integrations. You know, our other integrations are not so robust. Is there any why is that some of our integrations are, you know, at this level and some of our integrations are maybe not quite so seamless?
Yeah, for sure. That's a really awesome question, actually, and it's actually kind of exciting because actually with this integration we introduced a sort of a new way of authenticating your Mad Mimi account with whatever we're integrating with. So, for example, with the WordPress, with the WordPress integration, to get that set up, so a Mad Mimi customer, a Mad Mimi user is going to be required. There's a little bit of setup required, which is they have to get their username, which is their email address, but they have to get their API key from Mad Mimi, which it's just another thing that somebody has to do. They have to go to their account, grab their API key, copy and paste it. Whereas this really just click it and you're in, right? You sign in just like you sign into Mad Mimi. You get the way it works is that Mad Mimi provides Wix with a authentication token. Wix has that token, and it's actually kind of, in a sense, it's kind of interesting. Basically, what happens is whenever Wix wants to grab some information from Mad Mimi, say, "Hey, Mad Mimi, here's my token. You know, cool, let me in." That kind of thing. You know? Yeah, it's kind of cool. So, and by the way, because I had already authenticated my account in the past. It was already authenticated, so I didn't need to authenticate. However, the first time you connect your account, you will see this little screen. You'll be on a page a Mad Mimi page that says, "Look, Wix wants to get some data from Mad Mimi. Do you give permission to Wix to do that?" So then you grant permission, and then from then on, Wix has this token. And in Mad Mimi, you can always revoke that permission. In your account area, I believe, is where you have all like your, let's say, Twitter sign in and Facebook sign in and Wix as well. You can remove that and it'll be done.
Yeah. For more detail, if people want, you click on account and then there's authorizations tab, and you just click there and you'll see all of them, and you can just trash the ones you want to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really, so with this integration, it all looks awesome and seamless, but it sounds like it took a while because it is so involved. What do you think were some of the easiest things, and what were some bigger challenges, I think, than you expected?
For sure, yeah. So one of, I wonder what the easy thing, I don't know if there's anything easy to say, but but actually one of the fun things for me, just in terms of like developing as like a programmer, it was actually kind of fun because it's not part of Mad Mimi, like it's something like drip campaigns or web forms. It's really part of Mad Mimi, so it's all within the context of Mad Mimi. This was sort of external, really. It was for the Wix app market. So it was a totally separate application, right? It's on its own server, it's on its own everything. So that was fun for me to sort of build that sort of from ground up, just from the first line of code to the last. So that was kind of fun. And just writing these like APIs with this new authentication, it's called OAuth. So that was fun from that perspective. Some of the challenges. So, I mean, so always fun. Along the way, there were fun challenges, such as developing the app was a fun challenge, and using the Wix SDK, like their platform, which was also a challenge, but it was also cool. But there was definitely some frustrating moments, which is that I've sort of noticed, because I also did work with Salesforce writing for their app market, when you're writing for other people's app markets, they're calling the shots. So like, you spend all this time building this thing, and then you come to them and you say, okay, I have this thing, like, let's do it. And they're like, well, 1 second. And there's a whole laundry list of things that they want you to change and do differently. And so I remember sometimes feeling almost like, this isn't even my app anymore. You know, like, stop talking. You know, but so that was definitely very challenging. It really took pretty much 7 months, really, from the time that it was finished until it actually was what made it through the app market, because it went through, I think, 4 stages of testing with different people, and everyone had their own opinions and requirements, and so that took a long time. It was definitely challenging. Yeah, so that was definitely a bit, I think that was the hardest challenge, really, and the most difficult part.
Do you feel like it got changed a lot in that process, or is this pretty much what you set out to design and what you had 7 months ago? Was it tweaks, or was there actually things that got changed significantly?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but it was just like little small things. It was more like sort of like opinionated things, you know, like they wanted it this way. So I mean, I would do it, and it's great, you know. But it was almost like, I guess I was feeling like, as a developer, like, I don't know, I developed this app, so like, this is something that I developed, you know. And then it was no longer like I developed it; it's like them telling me. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's really nothing so significant. And it wasn't like an ego thing or anything. It was just more like I'm working on other stuff already. Like, this was so 7 months ago, you know. But, you know, like, how can I still be dealing with this? But yeah, no, it's more or less the same thing. And the truth is, at the end of the day, a lot of their suggestions were really fine, and you know, it was just like taking forever. But yeah, no, it was
the process.
Yeah, at least now it's out and it's live, and that's good.
And it is really nice. But that's not the process that a lot of our integrations go through. I mean, this was something that Mad Mimi built, and then took to Wix and went through their process of authorization and went through their process of getting in the app market. But some of our integrations aren't built that way. Some of them aren't even built by us. I mean, they could come in from other people. So anyone who wants to develop an integration with Mad Mimi is more than welcome to. But it's only some of them that have to go through this rigor and you know, this whole process. So what would you maybe recommend to somebody who wanted to make a Mad Mimi integration, wanted to like just you know, strike out on that path?
Oh my, wow. Good luck, first of all. But yeah, I mean, so we have a whole bunch of APIs for developers to be able to you know, programmatically sort of do stuff in Mad Mimi from other applications, from other external applications. And in my experience, we've also been very happy to build new APIs that we don't have. You know, if somebody needs a certain API that we don't yet offer, also with this OAuth authentication, you know, most of our APIs require username and an API key as opposed to an OAuth token. But I mean, I've already built some APIs for people specifically to use OAuth tokens. So I think that our developers have been very sort of open to working with other developers and to mutual, you know, I guess it's both in both of our interests. We both want, you know, to be able to allow Mad Mimi to do more and more. So yeah, so I think that all developers all developers are welcome very graciously, and yeah, should be an enjoyable experience, especially dealing with Mad Mimi. I don't think it should ever be frustrating dealing with Mad Mimi. What?
But we're a breeze.
Yeah.
So,
I do see we have a question from Barbara, and she's wondering if this is something for just paid plans or if there's a free trial. Barbara, in Mimi, it doesn't cost anything to add the Wix integration. You actually add it through your Wix site first. So I believe Wix does have a free account, and it should be free to add the Mimi app right in there. And you are able to create a web form on the free Mad Mimi plan, so you can link up that web form with Wix super easily without having to pay any extra fees. So, bonus.
Yeah, and if you run into any trouble with that, Barbara, just let us know. You can write to You can write to us in general at support@madmimi.com, or you can write to any of us at our first names at madmimi.com. Mira, Becca, Sruli. If you have any questions, just let us know.
Totally. And I guess that's a good thing to lead into, sort of, if you do have a Wix website, why do you think it'd be good to add this? What could you get out of using this app in the first place, and what could you get out of having a web form at all?
Sure.
We have a lot of answers for that, probably.
Cool. Who's that for? Is that for me? For you?
I guess for everybody. I mean, let's hear from you, then we can go around the table.
For sure. Sounds great. Yeah, from my perspective, I guess. So I guess I'll just say from the Wix app perspective for now, because I don't know. I feel like you guys might have a better answer than me in terms of. Well, not that I don't know an answer, but I feel like. Anyways, so I think that just the ease. I don't know. I feel like it just has a good feel. The Wix app. It just sort of clicking that connect account, you're in, and there's really not that much to do. You got your web form. It's on the page. Anybody who subscribes will go right to your Mad Media account. It's just, really within, pretty quickly and easily, I think you can be set up with this form on your site, collecting subscribers, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the simplicity is a huge plus. And I think if you have a website and don't have an email sign-up form of some kind, you're totally missing out, because there's anybody who visits your site might be interested, might not be buying now if you're selling something, or might not be downloading what you're offering, but having an email form is a great way to have them express their interest in hearing from you in the future. And you can link your web form to a drip campaign so that once somebody signs up and says, keep me posted, they can automatically get a sort of welcome aboard email, and you can introduce yourselves and make a great first impression. So having a web form on your site, on every page of your site, I think is a great way to keep in touch with people who are interested, and sort of developing a relationship with your potential new customers.
Yeah, I wanted just to add in what I mentioned before is just that segmentation. You can capture signups. I mean, first of all, you must capture signups. You can't email anyone unless they've said, yeah, that's okay, you can email me. So number one, if you want to keep in touch with people who are visiting your site and might be interested in furthering that relationship or buying something that you have to offer, you have to collect their information. And it could be as simple as email. You don't have to make it complicated. It can be literally just email. But in addition to that, there's so much value in understanding where these signups are coming from, what page of your site they're coming from, what ad they saw, or what post they saw that linked them to your site. So the more that you can segment these signups, the more information you have about your audience, and the better you can have a one-on-one conversation with them. So you might have an About Me page, and you might have a recipes page, and you might have a scrapbook page. Knowing that they signed up on one of those pages will allow you to talk to them in a very specific way that makes them feel like you understand them a little bit better.
Yeah, and you can also look at which page got the most signups and sort of compare that page versus your other ones to see, why is this one doing so well? What am I offering? What's the design here? What's more appealing to people based on these sign-up numbers?
Totally. So it's so worth it. So guys, if you have a Wix website, add the Mad Mimi app, because you're going to be missing out if you don't.
There's no reason not to. Awesome.
I think that's about it. I don't know, Sruli, do you have anything else you want to add, or any other advice or tips, or any developer highs? Last parting words.
Last words of wisdom.
Okay.
Maybe I should give some inspiration, something inspirational. No, nothing too much. No. Have fun. I don't know.
Have fun, everyone.
Have fun is good advice. It's not fun, you do it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sruli. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I had a good time. It's such an honor to be asked.
Really. And if anybody has any other questions that they didn't get in during the Hangout, feel free to email us. Support@madmimi.com goes to everybody on the whole team. But you can also, as Mira said, get us at Sruli@madmimi, Mira@madmimi, or Becca@madmimi.com. All right, well, thank you all for watching, and be sure to check it on the Hangout on YouTube. It'll be posted right after we're finished here, so if you want to come back and refer to it later, you totally can, and we'll add any links we talked about in the description there, so you'll always have this to come back and check out. All right, well, we'll see you all next week, every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Thank you so much.
Well,
Bye.
so